Ukraine has been a wonderful place to work for me, and the reasons are very simple. Ukraine is the largest country in terms of area in Europe, and it has 44 million highly educated people living here. The industry is very well developed. There is a high level of science, technology and research in Ukraine. I myself am an engineer. I am an electrical engineer, and I know that technological cooperation between Ukraine and India is a high priority. So, I consider this place to be a place of good posting for myself. To begin with, I will say that when I came here, there was a general reluctance in increasing relationship with India because of the political reasons. But right from day one, I emphasized the need to look at the economic and cultural development between India and Ukraine. And I discussed many fresh ideas which could be concentrated upon to get better, positive and quick results. One of the first ideas that I concentrated on was education. And I knew, being an engineer myself, I knew that the science and technology aspect of Ukraine should be beneficial to Indian students. By now I have gone to almost 25 different cities of Ukraine. Anywhere I go to, apart from meeting the Chamber of Commerce, the governor, the mayor, I make it a point to go to the technical university, any university which is operating there. Sometimes I go to two universities at a time. And I know for a fact that Indian students will benefit here tremendously. I told the Ukrainian government that there is a high requirement of education amongst the school leaving students in India. There are nearly 15 to 16 million students leaving school every year, and many of them are coming out. Right now only 8,000 Indian students are studying here, but the potential is clearly minimum 4 to 5 times of this number. This attracts Ukrainian government's attention because if we have, let's say, even about 30,000 Indian students studying here, Ukraine will end up earning about $150 million just by providing education. So, this was an idea which was appreciated by the government of Ukraine. Similarly, in the area of agriculture, I told them that there is a niche product like pulses which can be grown in Ukraine, and nearly $3 billion market for pulses exists in India. I also gave them this example that we purchase nearly 500,000 tons of pulses every year from Canada. And I asked them this question: you have a better agricultural facility, better weather, better soil, you are so much closer to India. If Canada can export 500,000 tons of pulses to India, why can't Ukraine? And the third idea that I discussed with them, which has really been very useful, is the need to have visa relaxation. Because I told them that there is, even with a very conservative estimate of 0.01% of Indian rich population coming to Ukraine, and each of them spending only $1,000 per head, Ukraine will end up earning $37.5 million from tourism itself. That has attracted their attention, and after almost 1.5 years of constant discussion and negotiation, India was included in the list of countries for visa on arrival facility. I am really glad that government of Ukraine has taken this initiative, because this is one point which will be instrumental in increasing our bilateral relationship much faster and bring us much closer. Always a good feeling. One is so many Indian students studying in a faraway land like this. A newcomer will never expect so many Indians to be available in such a faraway place, and that too not in the capital city but in a different city. But more important than that is when you talk to the university officials, they are all high praises for the Indian students. They are more disciplined, they are more studious, they are better in behavior and cultural events and everything, and they always stand out as something much better and much different from students from other countries. So, the officials, the administrators in the university are extremely happy with the Indian students, which is a good sign, which is a good thing. First thing I will tell them that if you are coming to Ukraine, you must have a good working knowledge of English language. Do not come if your English is poor, because first of all you do not know the local language, and if you do not know even English, then you will have a very tough time here. So, it is better for only those students who have a good base in English language. Even if their spoken part is not good, does not matter, they should be having good base of English language, grammar and everything. Once you are in this environment, you will automatically start speaking, but you have to have a good base. This is one. The second, when you come here, do not think that you are getting out of the clutches of your parents and you can have free time and you can start enjoying life. You are coming here to study, and as we have traditionally in Indian system, there is a very famous Sanskrit shlok which says Kak cheshta bako dhyanam swana nidra tathaivacha vidyarthi pancha lakshanam. I mean, there are five signs of a good student, and when you are in Ukraine, though you are out of your house, but you are still a student and you have to behave like a good student. You have to do everything which a student should do. So, these are my advices. Fortunately, Ukrainian people are already very positive towards Indian culture, Indian philosophy and Indian traditions. There is a very high level of awareness. I am told that there are 50,000 practitioners of yoga already, and there are about 1,500 yoga teachers in Ukraine. In almost all major cities, you will get Indian classical or Bollywood dance schools. In Kyiv itself, I understand there are 60 yoga schools and about 5 Indian dance schools which are teaching classical Bharatanatyam, Kuchipudi, Odissi as well as Bollywood dances. So, the awareness is already there. What we did is to ride on this concept of International Day of Yoga to start increasing the area of awareness. Last year we had this function at Mariinsky Park, one of the central park in Kyiv, a day long function in which nearly 10,000 people came. All the yoga schools were given spaces in the park and people used to come. It was like a yoga mela. You would go to different stalls and try your hand in different forms of yoga and do whatever you want. This time we wanted to do something unique, and we wanted to have, our initial aim was to have 10,000 people doing yoga together in the central avenue, which is called Christiatic here. So, we made a large effort. Fortunately, we could achieve a sizable number, though not 10,000, but we are not disheartened. It is a target for next year. This year we are celebrating 70 years of India's independence and 25 years of India-Ukraine relationship. So, we are having Festival of India during the whole of 2017. Different cultural groups of or sponsored by Ministry of Culture in India have been coming here, and not only in Kyiv, they have been taken to different other cities. So, we already had 2 other groups in the past. Today there is another group of folk dancers has come, which will be performing tomorrow in the same Mariinsky Park, because we are celebrating another day of yoga, International Day of Yoga, which falls on 21st June, that is tomorrow. And once again we will have a yoga mela in Mariinsky Park. though because it is a working day we will be having it from 4 p.m. to 10 p.m. in the evening. But I hope that there will be a much larger presence of people in tomorrow's function. Apart from these activities, we keep getting different kinds of cultural troupes from India under ICCR, both for classical music, classical dances, instrumental music or Bollywood music. Many famous artists have already come in the last 1.5 years to Ukraine. Apart from these activities, we also have 25 scholarships under what we call ITEC program, Indian Technical and Education Economic Cooperation. And these 25 scholarships are given to Ukrainian professionals who can go to India free of cost, because Indian Embassy gives this scholarship, for learning English, learning IT technology, rural development, audit and financing. There are leadership courses. There are 65 different areas under this ITEC program, and 25 Ukrainian nationals go to India every year. We also have 6 scholarships for learning Indian classical dance, music and Ayurveda in India for Ukrainian nationals. So, I think there is a healthy way of promoting cultural relationship between India and Ukraine, and yoga is adding value to this relationship.
What are the opportunities for Indians to make the business in Ukraine?
There are nearly 200 Indian families living here. Most of them are in pharmaceutical business, because pharmaceuticals are the biggest export from India to Ukraine. But there are at least 3 projects in which Indians have invested in Ukraine. One in a pharmaceutical unit in Sumy region, another in agriculture farming in close to Lutsk, and the third is in prosthetics, the making prosthetics. You have to artificial limbs, prosthetics. And the Indian businessman has done extremely well in getting new technology, which is recognized even in Europe. So, I would say that there is a large opportunity in terms of pharmaceutical products for Indian companies as well as agriculture, because the moment pulse growing picks up in Ukraine, there will be need for good quality seeds, good technology of of growing pulses, as well as export trading linkages. So, this provides a very ample opportunity for Indian businessmen in Ukraine in the coming days. Yeah. I am also advocating strong participation from Ukraine in Make in India program and the program of 100 smart cities that our government has. You will be surprised to know that an Indian company is already into metro business in India. And similarly, there are other areas like battery run transportation, high quality housing, telecommunication. All these areas are important for India in both Make in India project as well as 100 smart city project. I have been to Zaporozhye. I have had detailed discussion with the Chamber of Commerce. I have met with the governor, and I had good interaction with Zaporozhye Medical University. I was quite impressed by the attitude of the administrators, the academic people there, as well as the students in the university. I also spoke to them about India. I gave them a small presentation. And at the end of it, it left a very positive impact on my mind.
What are your thoughts about students' association there?
Students, I am told that there are about 700 Indian students, and they are like a very close knit family. They take care of each other. They have an association of students who look after the interests and requirements of the Indian students community. But as it is, they are quite well behaved. The university authorities were very happy with the Indian students. They considered them to be hardworking and disciplined lot. which was a very nice thing to hear.
What about Indian students? How do they feel? Are they comfortable there?
I think Indian students, whatever I could interact with them, they were very happy with their stay and their study. My only concern always has been that the universities may not be really having enough number of English speaking professors or teachers in all subjects, which kind of creates problem in understanding of students, because if the students do not understand the lecture, then they lose interest very soon, and that becomes problematic later on. They do not pass exams and creates problems for the families. So, I would be very keen to see that not only Indian, all foreign students are provided by academic staff who are good in English language and who are able to communicate well with their foreign students. Also, I was happy to note that there is no discrimination made between the Ukrainian students and the foreign students. This is a very important thing, because if the communication level is good, then the material which is being told to Ukrainian students, the same material will come to the Indian students or any foreign students, and in that case the competition or the examination will be equal, otherwise it will not be a fair competition.
Through Ukraine or only in
No, I am saying through all through Ukraine. This is a general advice, and that is what I was impressed in Zaporozhye. It looked as if the level of teaching is of a very good standard, because the Indian students were quite comfortable.
If we are going to say about support of embassy, what will be your first steps or further steps?
Embassy has very marginal role in this particular case, because the students are there to study, the medical colleges are supposed to give them education. Embassy has hardly got any role, but if there is any trouble, if there is any requirement of any intervention by the embassy in cases of emergency, in cases of any requirement, embassy has always been there for assistance. We have been proactive in interacting with the administrators in the university, and students are always free to be in touch with not only with my consular officer, but also with the embassy in general. We have a Facebook page, we have a Twitter page, we have a website. Students are encouraged to interact with them, with us through them anytime. I have spoken already about the three major areas that I concentrated upon, and I am glad to say that in the last 1.5 years, I have been able to generate awareness in all relevant sections of the government here. The government is sensitive, the required institutions are sensitive. For example, the Ministry of Agriculture and the Ministry of Economic Development is planning to take a big business delegation to India in the month of September. This has happened basically because they have all come to realize that there is a huge potential of business development in India, and there are specific areas where we should concentrate on for quicker and faster results. In terms of education, the Ministry of Education is aware as to what I have been telling them to concentrate on, to streamline the admission system, to make the universities aware of their responsibilities, make English the yardstick of admission of foreign students in any university. Tourism, as you know, we have already achieved visa on arrival facility for Indian nationals. So, I am glad to say that all the steps that we had initiated in our discussions have started showing results. Yeah, I have been emphasizing that the system of indirect admission into Ukrainian universities is an old and archaic system. All over the world now in 21st century, you have online admission. You apply to the university online, send all your documents online, university selects on the basis of merit all the applications that they receive, and the students are invited on their own. The university takes like a hand holding thing, provides them information about how to travel, who will receive them at the airport, how they will come to the university, etc. So, all this increases the responsibility of the university. Till now the universities were not taking that responsibility. Now I am glad to note that some of the universities, including Zaporozhye University, has considered this suggestion to be important and essential, and they have started making these efforts. So, this is one of the ways in which you can instill higher confidence in the minds of students in India and their parents. If they see a well organized system of admission, they will be more relaxed and more guaranteed that their children will be in safe hands. The T News channel and TV5 channel, I send this warm welcome to all Indian nationals. Now that government of Ukraine has given visa on arrival facility to Indian nationals, please take the benefit and come to Ukraine. Especially in summers, it is a heaven on earth. I can assure you that it will be a great experience for all of you. And for the young friends of mine who have just left their school, consider Ukraine as the first destination for higher education. If you want to go abroad at reasonable cost, Ukraine should be your first destination. It is easy to come here, the people are very nice, you will have a homely atmosphere, and you will have a good education. I welcome all of you to Ukraine. To my young friends, you will come to know, especially in Andhra Pradesh, Telangana and South India, that there is a large existing community of students already from this region in a medical college in Zaporozhye. If you are thinking of coming to Ukraine, Zaporozhye should be one of your first choices. Try it.